Hello everyone and welcome to a very nice game. It's round 2 of the elimination round of the Aimchess Rapid. It's Agatmator versus Levon Aronian. This is their second game. First one ended in a draw. And while it is a very nice one, just a very quick announcement. Today I will be having a live stream. I will be having two guests, PhDs in physics, Dr. Andrei Dundovic and Dr. Petar Pavlovic. We're going to be discussing, a lot of cool things regarding the universe, regarding pretty much anything you can think of. We're gonna be discussing it, and while we're doing it, there will also be a Lichess arena going on in the background. So if you want to play, you can play. The link to the tournament will be in the description below. But if you just want to, enjoy some nice conversation, you can also join in and be a part of it. Ask some questions. We will do our best to answer as many questions as possible regarding chess, physics, the universe, and pretty much anything you can think of. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, it should be fun. So hope you guys will enjoy it. Now, that being said, the links are in the description below. Let's check out this game. So Agatmator, the second game against Levon Aronian, he wrote something on Twitter regarding the whole system of play, but we are going to discuss this after we check out the game, because the game itself is pretty beautiful. We have pawn to d4 by Kamsky, d5 by Levon, and bishop to f4. He goes for this accelerated London system, or the Mason variation. Nowadays it's probably more known as the accelerated London. We have pawn to c5, the Steinitz counter gambit to this system, and pawn to e3. We have knight to c6 by Levon, c3, and queen to b6, putting pressure on b2 right away. Queen to b3, defending and offering a queen trade, and now pawn to c4. We have queen back to c2, not trading, and here Levon plays bishop to f5. It's a beautiful move that gets the queen away from the defense of the b2 pawn, and Levon, of course, would very much enjoy capturing that pawn on a1. So queen captures on f5, we have queen captures on b2, and now queen captures on d5, asking, are you maybe interested in a free rook? And while you could capture it, it wasn't played in the game. I will just show it because it's a lot of fun. Queen captures, now comes queen to b5, and after pawn to a6, now you will play queen captures on b7. So you have to keep defending that knight on b1. Now after knight to d8, you will play there are many moves you could play. You could just trade captures, but if you want to play for the win, you will play queen e4, guard the knight, and the game continues. This is not how it went on in the game. In the game, knight to f6 by Levon, queen captures on c4, and now there is a game in the database where knight to e4 was played, and also you could consider some other moves here, like for example queen to c1 check. It's also very nice. For example, king to e2, queen to b2 check. If black wants to force a draw here, white can even decide to play for the win with king to f3. And now if queenside castles looks pretty wild. The king is on f3. It's actually perfectly fine. Queen to b3. And now black has to capture the rook, otherwise he's just going to be down material. And after rook captures, you will play g3, put your king on g2, and black will struggle a bit getting that queen off of that a1 square. So those are only some of the ways you could do it. But in the game, queen captures on a1 was played immediately by Levon, and it is now as of move 9 that we have a completely new game. So okay, how do you continue? Well, it's not at all clear, but the absolute best move is queen to b3. In the game, queen to b5 was played, and it looks similar. The problem is, after queen to b3, there's really no good way to get that queen off of this square. And now, basically, what you are trying to do is play bishop to d3 to have the knight defended, and then somehow win the black queen. Maybe even by playing queen to c2, and then maybe putting a knight on b3 to attack the black queen. So a6, we have bishop to d3, and now, now a knight to a5 would have to be played. You need to cover that b3 square, and after queen to c2, it's very hard for black to even find moves here. So this is much better for white. But in the game, queen to b5 was played instead of queen to b3, and okay, now Levon is still in a difficult situation, but he finds a beautiful way to get out of it. Pawn to e5, attacks the bishop on f4, bishop captures on e5, and now can you figure out why Levon played this pawn to e5 move? It's not just a sacrifice the speed of development. It actually has a very specific reason. So feel free to pause the video and try to find the absolute best move for Levon here while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on, well, realizing that only the queen is defending the knight on b1. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is bishop to b4. This is what Levon played, and make no mistake, this is not a winning move or anything. This is just the best move for black, but it's still either equal or white is better. So now you have to defend the knight. Bishop to d3, but now the c3 pawn hangs. So bishop captures on c3 check. King to f1 by Kamsky, and now Levon still has to figure out how to defend his position. He goes queen to b2. He offers a queen trade and defends the b7 pawn. Now comes knight to e2, and now queen captures on b5. This is how Levon trades the queens. Bishop captures on b5, and now bishop to a5. And here we have pawn to d5. It looks like a very aggressive move, but it doesn't really work. Here you should just continue developing with something like knight to g3, or you can even capture on f6, but d5 allows Levon this beautiful move that gets him out of all the trouble if there ever any was on the board. So here queenside castles, and now you cannot capture the knight. If you capture, then rook to d1 is checkmate. That's the problem. So here comes played bishop captures on f6, we have g captures on f6, and now knight e to c3, getting the knight into the game. Knight to e7, of course, now the knight is hanging, and now bishop to c4. We have king to b8, getting the king to safety, and now king to e2. We have rook to c8, attacking the bishop, but now king to d3. And okay, Levon is up the exchange, Gata is up a pawn, Levon has a doubled f pawn, so it's not, you can't just win this by force, even though you're up material. Rook h to d8, the rooks are now beautifully placed here, controlling the c and d file, the king is on d3, and now bishop back to b3. We have pawn to a6 and rook to d1. We have pawn to b5 and now pawn to a3, pawn to f5 and now pawn to g3. So just playing some useful moves here. Rook to c5, now putting real pressure on that d5 pawn, and pawn to e4. Defending it, we have captures, but not with the king. The knight captured, attacking the rook here, and the rook just goes back. Rook c to c8. We have king to e2. Now comes knight to f5, and now pawn to g4. Chases away the knight. Knight to d6. Knight to f6, and now rook to d3. First h6 and then rook to d3, not allowing any infiltrating moves via the c3 square, but also just gaining more control over the entire board. We have rook to c1. Levon now says, all right, I will take advantage of the back rank as you've just left it with your rook. Knight to d2, and now bishop captures on d2. It's not that complicated, as you are up material, so you want to trade down. King captures, and now king captures on d2, and now rook to a1 goes after the pawn. And here Kamsky tried one last idea, pawn to f4. We have rook captures on a3 and pawn to h4, trying to create a pass pawn on the king side, but Levon just played pawn to a5. We have pawn to h5, pawn to a4 attacks the bishop, bishop to c2, and here just rook to a2, and he was in this position on move 37 that Gata Kamsky resigned the game, as there really is nothing more to be done here. Well, you could consider some moves like pawn to g5. Yes, it's a very nice move, but then knight to c4 check, and it becomes very, very problematic to defend. For example, king c3, rook to c8, and already, I mean, there's not much you can do here. All sorts of nasty discoveries are coming. You will start losing material, and that's pretty much it. But pretty much all the other moves you try are insufficient for white. Very nicely done by Levon, and this is what Kamsky meant when he posted this on Twitter. Okay, it's pretty much the same tweet, only one is directed at chess.com, the other one is more general. He said, great rapid tournaments, but a question: after grueling 5 hours of chess in the play-in, isn't it really pushing players over the edge by forcing them to play an elimination match, which just completely erases the previous 5 hours of play result? Because of course, Kamsky did not lose a single game in the qualification for this elimination round, and now he drew one game against Levon, he lost one game, and now he is out. He does not get promoted to Division 1. So it is pretty harsh, but it is those were the rules before the tournament. So I don't know, what do you guys think about this? He says, once again, I have to strongly protest in the format of the play in the event. It's just bloody ridiculous to play a match after a grueling Swiss tournament versus top opposition for 5 hours, and this match just cancels the whole result pretty much. So yeah, it's basically the same tweet. But of course, as there were 180 something players, of course you really want to do well and get chosen for that Division 1. But it's a top competition, which means you have to defeat everyone. That's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and a little bit of extra info about the tournament today and the live stream. So bring some heavy questions. My guests will do their best to answer all of them, as it is what they do in life. So I'm sure they will enjoy your questions. So make them really, really difficult. That's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank Alexander Yadarola, Dean Bodenham, Maya Samyaya, David Quintilian, and John Anderson. Missing a J there. Sorry about that, John. For your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing to check upon your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day, and see you later in the live stream. See you soon.